on fruit batteries.
Wow, I like the name.
And so what we actually tried to do was, first we actually tried to just make a battery out of like common items that we could find. And so we did some research and we found that you could use like fruits. We decided maybe we should start powering like small gadgets and stuff. So we tried to power an LED light and that worked. And then we tried to power a electronic calculator. It does work actually.
Yeah, well, we used like different materials. We used regular wires to connect and alligator clips to connect all the fruits together so that we can measure them. We used citrus fruits such as grapefruit, orange, lime, onions, those are fruits, and lemons.
So all the technical materials that we used were wires, positive and negative wires, copper plates, a multimeter, chef's knife, galvanized nails, and some wire,
Well, for the procedure, first, just to make the battery, we connected the fruit with a copper plate and the galvanized nail. And then to measure our voltage within that battery, we connected wires from the galvanized nail and the copper plates to the multimeter. We made sure to measure the highest voltage. We connected our fruits together. We connected them in series circuit. We cut them into different pieces, like cut them into fourths and halves. And then we measured those. Then we tried powering a buzzer, and that worked. We tried powering a motor. That didn't work that well because I think the motor took in too much of the current. And then we tried powering a calculator, and that worked.
So before we started this project, we thought of some questions we might want to do. And so when we were doing those, we actually experimented some of those questions. And so the first question was, does soaking fruit in the Gatorade make a difference? The answer was to that, yes, it does make it does make a difference. It does increase it by a little bit because it has a lot of electrolytes. The second question is, does it make a difference how much surface area is shown? Answer, it does, because that way it can soak up. The third question was, do vegetables have more or less electrolytes than fruits? The answer to that was, fruits have more electrolytes than vegetables because fruits have more, which have more electrolytes.
We're gonna do that actually last.
Okay.
So what we do is we switch the multimeter to 20 volts because this experiment has voltage that is under 20 volts. So if we put it to 20 volts, you can see an onion and a lemon has 1.86 volts. Okay, so an example, 9 times 5. Example 9 times 5 equals what? 9 times?
Too many electrons.
Oh, 45, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, for this graph, does the quantity of the given fruit matter? That's like if you measure the voltage of the whole entire fruit, and then if you measure the voltage of half of the fruit, would half of the fruit equal the voltage of the whole entire fruit divided by 2? Here's our graph, and as you can see, it doesn't matter that much, but it still increased a little bit.
Well, for this graph, we cut the fruits into fourths, and we measured each one's voltage, and we thought that if we just measure one and then multiply it by 4, we'll get the number that so we measured the fruit, the whole fruit first, then we cut it into fourths, measure each fourth, and we added it. We thought that it would do the same.
I've seen that the parallel series is actually what we did here. So if one battery fails, it's just the conductor. So the electrolytes just go right through it. Okay, so another question we did was, does the size of the fruit matter? We thought the size of the fruit would matter because usually the more bigger the fruit, the more juice and more voltage. So we measured each fruit separately, and the clementine got 0.94 volts, the lemon got 0.95 volts, the lime got 0.94 volts, and the grapefruit got 0.97 volts. So the grapefruit was the biggest, and in our graph it shows that it has the most voltage. So yes, the size of the fruit does matter.
Variables. So when you were looking at the different fruits, what kind of variables were there?
Lemon, the onion.
So the type of fruit?
Yeah.
What are these called?
Yeah.
These are called the electrode.
So did you find from your experiment whether the area of the electrode matters?
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
It's
pushed in.
Yeah.
If you push it in more,
Yeah.
then it absorbs more of the citric acid and stuff, so it can.
Charges.
Yeah, so it'll get more. So it does make a difference.
Did you see it?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we saw it.
Yeah, but I feel like if we pushed in too much, then they would like touch and then
Yeah, and then
Yeah, the two
you can only
electrodes.
push so
it
much.
would get all the current.
You can only put it in so much of space.
Usually half an inch.
How do you come up with the different things to try? Did everyone have different ideas of what kind of experiment?
Yeah, we wanted to, like, someone wanted to use a potato, and we just decided what would have most juice, and what did we know that had a lot of citric acid.
Do you have any understanding of primary and secondary batteries that can be charged or not?
Yeah, these are primary batteries because once they run out of juice, you can't like recharge them. No.
Tried it? A lot of hypotheses and experimenting. Good.
Very good. So what was the biggest thing you learned from the project? What was the most interesting thing that you didn't know before that you learned from this project?
You can make a battery out of fruit. Yeah.
And fruits have a lot of electric.
I personally did not think that this would power the buzzer.
Yeah, I didn't think
I
it
didn't
would
think it would-
power the
I
calculator.
didn't think it would power anything.
Yeah.
When we were doing our research in one site, it said you need like 9,000 lemons to power a.
Yeah, it said something like you needed a lot.
Or what would be more effective, do you think? Bigger electrodes or
Yeah.
shorter wires? Which would be better if you wanted to run that buzzer
Bigger
longer?
electrodes. Well, maybe both, because
think
then if the
shorter
electrodes are huge, you couldn't reach.
I think
what
shorter
you're trying
wires
to do.
because it has less of a distance.
Team D got a goal. Pooja, Mayan, Pujita, Samvit, and Kumar. Team A. Abhinav, Rohit, Niket, and Nikhil. Coached by Aparna Kurada, Madhu, and Sudhir. And Team A of Abhinav, Rohit, Niket and Nikhil, they got a goal.